Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to SoulSpace podcast number 153.
Welcome.
And yeah, um, today we're going to stay on track with our train your brain topic. And today we're going to kind of veer off from the mind trainer part that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. And we're going to go into a little more of the science behind the mind. And we're going to talk about creating a new mind with our friend, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
We do love Dr. Joe.
Yes, he's so good.
Amazing. His newest book, Supernatural, is hands down one of my favorite books. I am about 3/4 of the way through it.
Yeah. I
just love it. I just love it. It's so good. If you don't have it, go get it. It's on Hay House. Just get it. Just go buy it.
Yeah.
They have it on Amazon, I think maybe.
Or Audible. It's good to listen to that one. I like to listen.
I have the Hay House app.
Oh yeah, I do that. I have that too. But I also have Audible. We're kind of freaks about our listening and reading. But anyway, he is really cool to listen to. He has changed his whole life and studied the brain a lot, and he knows what he's talking about.
He does.
And he has the proof, in himself too.
Yeah, in himself, and he's done studies and participated in studies and all sorts of things as well. I love evidentiary support for things.
Right. Yeah. And he really has done the work and experiments with people, at his seminars that they have had amazing things happen.
Yeah.
Just by the power of the mind. And that is what we love to geek out about. So
yes, our mind is far more powerful than we're even aware of.
And that we give ourselves credit for.
Yes.
Yeah.
They always say, it is such a cliche, people always say, we only use about 10% of our brain.
Right.
Well, we only use about 10% of our potential and our mind's potential and our energetic potential. So it's really fun to talk about how to continue expanding ourselves in that way and continue to talk about the how and the why and all of the really interesting things that other people have learned and studied. And we just like to bring it all together to begin to really continue our expansion together.
Right. Yeah. And, you're never too old to learn about stuff like this. You're never, keep learning throughout your life, and it makes life so much more fun and so much more interesting when you can keep learning and expanding your mind. I just think it's a never-ending story and a never-ending task, but it's so fun.
A never-ending pursuit into the fascinating world that is us.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are an enigma to ourselves.
Right.
And so isn't it fun to discover more and more and more about who we really are and about our bodies and our body's potential and our mind and its potential and our consciousness and super consciousness and its potential.
Right.
And what we can create as a whole being. It's just really interesting.
Yeah.
To learn more and more about that.
Yeah.
We're all about that.
That's for sure. So let's dive in with some of the geekiness of the mind today.
Yes. So we have Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Well-used book.
A well-used book.
I've had it for a long time.
It's a great book. I mean, obviously well used. So and then the subtitle is How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. And this is also a book that I have, and then I have the meditations that go with it as well, which I just love. They're long meditations, but if you take the time to do them, they're also amazing. So, it's about priorities,
Yeah.
If you have nothing to do on a Saturday,
exactly.
One of his meditations would be the best thing to do, probably.
I love them on a snowstorm day.
Yeah.
When you're stuck in the house and you can't do anything, or laying out in the sun on the patio, that's another good time. Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
On the boat, on the lake.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Anytime you can make time for yourself and to work on your brain power, it, there's nothing better. I mean,
Right.
it's helping you so much. So
Right.
why not do it when you can?
Right. And his meditations on his CD, these ones at least are about an hour long.
Yeah, they are long. But
And so if you don't have time to do that, do Mind Trainer and you can do 15 minutes,
Mind
30 minutes or an
Trainer is
hour.
awesome. Yeah.
They're all good things.
And yeah,
They go well together.
Yeah, they do. In fact, yesterday I listened to Mind Trainer for about 3 hours, but it was so good. I was on the golf course with my grandson, and I just had the abundance one that's an hour long.
Oh,
and I
okay.
had that playing in the background of my mind, and it was so good. And then I listened to another one, I can't remember which, but a shorter one. And it was just felt so good to be out in nature and having fun and watching some golf and training my mind at the same time.
Yeah, you know what? I listened to a new one in Mind Trainer Pro that I had not listened to yet, and it was called Silence the Inner Critic.
Oh,
and that
good.
has been one of my favorite ones I've listened to so far. And I'm like, why didn't I discover this one before?
Right.
You know?
I know.
And it's like as
Yeah.
you go, there's like more and more and more. So
yeah, there's so many. And they're all good.
but that one was amazing. I was like,
yeah,
yeah, I need that.
yeah. I've listened to that one and I loved it too.
So good.
It's just so cool to have the all access pass, because there's so many good ones and you can just go through them all. Even if you don't think they're going to pertain to you, they work on you. And
they do pertain when you
They
dig
all
into them,
do,
they
yeah.
all do.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. Like even ones that when it's it's labeled a certain thing, you're like, I don't know if I need that. Well, listen to it and you'll realize how much
Right.
benefit there is in there. And I'm discovering that too there's so many different things. And they do work synergistically, I'm just finding out as
They
well.
do, yeah.
We're getting off on a tangent about Mind Trainer
Yeah.
because we're excited about that
And
too. But
yeah, that's our most favorite thing right now. But
we were talking about the brain and training it,
yeah,
so
yeah, training the brain
natural
is
segue.
yeah. And a lot of people take it for granted and they think you don't need to work on your brain at all. But
So many studies tell you otherwise.
yeah,
So many. And it's important to exercise your brain and keep those
It
neuronal connections
really
going
is.
and building new ones.
Yeah.
When you stop doing that, that's when people tend to develop problems, especially if you have a predisposition to such a thing.
Yeah, yeah. And especially aging, if you don't work your brain, it's gonna go to waste. It really is.
Right.
Just like your body, if you don't stay active and stay walking or stay exercising, your body is gonna deteriorate a lot faster than it would otherwise. So why not work those things and stay as young as you can for as long as you can? That's my idea anyway.
Right. And the thing about our brains is that it pairs away the things that we don't use and the things that we don't think about and the things that we're not exercising on a regular basis. It pares information down to less and less and less. And so to make space for more neuronal connections. But if you're not making space and you're not creating new neuronal connections, then what's to replace those?
Right.
Sometimes it can, that's when you begin to have atrophy. So it's always a good idea to continue exercising the mind. And Einstein was huge on that.
He was
about every single day exercising the mind, doing mind experiments and
Mhm.
thinking up new things and new ways to do things and reading and learning and doing, And so think about that. If one of the most intelligent people to ever live
Mhm.
was saying exercise your brain every day.
Right.
Do you want to ignore that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No, me either.
Plus, I love to learn.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
love to learn. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things to do is learn new things.
It is. Me too. So
that's why random facting with Carissa exists.
right.
If anybody who's watching knows me, I random fact all the time. And that's one of the things that I'm known for. And people love it.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh my gosh, why do I need to know that? Well, now you can't unknow it, can you?
I know.
Boom.
My husband's like that too. He has so many random facts. But once you know, you can't unknow.
You can't unknow it now. Too late for you.
Right.
You know me, and it's too late.
It's always good.
It's too late.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what Dr. Joe has to say here.
Yes, if you do have breaking the habit of being yourself, we are on page 110 is where we're starting. In the chapter entitled Survival versus Creation. So, this small section is entitled Creation, Living as a Nobody. At the end of the previous chapter, I briefly described what it is like to live in creative mode. Those are the moments of being fully engaged in flow so that the environment, the body, and time all seem immaterial and don't invade our conscious thoughts. Living in creation is living as a nobody. Ever notice that when you're truly in the midst of creating anything, you forget about yourself? You dissociate from your known world. You are no longer a somebody who associates your identity with certain things you own, particular people you know, certain tasks you do, and different places you lived at specific times. You could say that when you are in a creative state, you forget about the habit of being you. You lay down your selfish ego and become selfless. You have moved beyond time and space and become pure immaterial awareness. Once you're no longer connected to a body, no longer focused on people, places, or things in your external environment, and beyond linear time, you're entering the door of the quantum field. You cannot enter as a somebody. You must do so as a nobody. You have to leave the self-centered ego at the door and enter the realm of consciousness as pure consciousness. And as I said in chapter 1, in order to change your body to foster better health, something in your external circumstances, like a new job, relationship, perhaps, or your timeline toward a possible future reality, you have to become no body, no thing, no time. Thus, here is the grand hint. To change any aspect of your life, body, environment, or time, you must transcend it and detach from your present familiar reality. You must leave behind the big three in order to control the big three. Interesting.
Yeah.
So he's really talking about when you are truly in this one now singular moment, nothing before, nothing after, you're just focused on the right now and what's happening right now and observing, and you're not really attached to yourself or past or present or future or anything. You're just here in this one singular moment.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about, that moment of creation. Because there really is only this one now moment, but we, in our thoughts, go here, go there, go everywhere.
Right.
But when our awareness becomes just pure awareness of the right now, in that almost silence of the mind, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can get glimpses of that, like when you're doing something you love to do and you lose track of time. That is a glimpse of that. That's where you want to be when you're trying to create.
When you're in that pure focus flow. A lot of people get that way when they're doing art.
Yeah.
And they're just flowing with the art.
Yeah.
Or some people will get that way when they're running. If they're a big runner, they'll get in that just mode where they're just in the right now and that pure awareness. So finding, thinking about different moments when you've experienced that just pure right now awareness, that peacefulness, that gives you an idea of what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. And we've all been there at one time or another, lost that track of time, lost that, been so immersed in what we're doing that we forget about everything else. And that's what he's talking about, being so in the moment that that's all there is.
Right. And I find myself when I'm in a project that I do that frequently.
Yeah, I do too.
When I'm doing something, it's like I'm just hyper focused on that one thing. And so for me, it comes very naturally. For others, it doesn't. But we've all had moments where we know what that feels like.
Yeah, yeah. And that is something that Mind Trainer has helped me get back to, is getting that focus, that really strong focus that I had lost for quite a while. And it's nice to notice, oh, it's coming back.
Yeah. So really helps you get back into that flow feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
Completely understand what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The frontal lobe, domain of creation and change. When we are in creation, we are activating the brain's creative center, the frontal lobe, part of the forebrain and comprising of the prefrontal cortex. This is the newest, most evolved part of our human nervous system and the most adaptable part of the brain. It tends to be the creative center of who we are and the brain's CEO or decision-making apparatus. The frontal lobe is the seat of our attention, focus, concentration, awareness, observation, and consciousness. It is where we speculate on possibilities, demonstrate firm intention, make conscious decisions, control impulsive and emotional behaviors, and learn new things. For the sake of our understanding, the frontal lobe performs three essential functions. Those will all come into play as you learn and practice the how-to meditative steps for breaking the habit of being yourself in part 3 of this book, which, learning that itself would be useful and worth getting the book.
Yeah, it really is. And this book, it goes really deep, really fast, but if you take it in small chunks, it's easier to understand.
Right.
I know for me, I read and listened to it at the same time sometimes, so I could absorb it better. Yeah. And it's because he does get a little geeky in there, what
he does
that we're not used to.
He's very scientific in his books, and he goes really in depth.
Really,
but I really like it because then it gives you all of the information about the how, the why, and the science behind it. Yeah. And I love that. I do. And once you get used to it and you go through those parts and you start to see how all of the pieces come together. Right. It's really fantastic. So sometimes, like with his books, certain parts of it you do have to take in smaller chunks to process, or maybe read again. But this one is pretty straightforwardly written. Yeah. I would say for him. Yeah. It's good. He goes down a wormhole, but it's so interesting to me, so I love it. But other people that aren't as nerdy as us maybe would have a harder time understanding it. But if you can find, he has lots of videos on YouTube and a lot of interviews on podcasts and stuff. If you look for that and hear him speak about it, then you understand it a lot better, a lot easier. Right. And as we go through, we'll give you examples and different ways of thinking about it too. Yeah. It's so good. So interesting to me. Yes. Do you want to read about metacognition? Yep. Metacognition. Becoming self-aware to inhabit unwanted states of mind and body. If you want to create a new self, you first have to stop being the old self, which makes sense, right? In the process of creation, the first function of the frontal lobe is to become self-aware. And that's something that sometimes you forget to do, is become self-aware. You forget about, what am I doing in this moment? What is my goal in this moment? What am I supposed to be doing in this moment? We lose track of that sometimes when we get so busy and just run on autopilot. Right. And sometimes people point out to us when we're running on autopilot and we realize, oh, I'm going back into that habit, or I'm doing this thing and I didn't even realize, or I said this and it just slipped out of my mouth because I wasn't thinking enough about this one moment about what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because we have metacognitive capabilities, the power to observe our own thoughts and self, we can decide how we no longer want to be, to think, act, and feel. This ability to self-reflect allows us to scrutinize ourselves and then make a plan to modify out behaviors so we can produce more enlightened or desirable outcomes. Your attention is where you place your energy. To use attention to empower your life, you will have to examine what you've already created. This is where you begin to know thyself.
You look at your beliefs about life, yourself, and others. You are what you are. You are where you are, and you are who you are because of what you believe about yourself. I love that right there.
I know. I'm just like, that's a great line.
Yep. It's like knowing you are 100% responsible for who you are and where you're at. Right? And we know that.
It's like, yeah, who you are, how you react, what you choose to do, what you choose to think, how you choose to feel, and where you choose to go in your life are all you.
Yeah.
All you.
Yeah. Nobody can do that for you. You have to do that yourself. So your beliefs are the thoughts you keep consciously or unconsciously accepting as the law in your life. Whether you are aware of them or not, they still affect your reality. So if you truly want a new personal reality, start observing all aspects of your present personality. Imagine that.
Being aware of yourself?
Yeah.
Is that what you
What a concept.
I think it's really important to observe yourself.
Right.
Because then you get to begin to see what do you really like about yourself, which I think is important for people to notice.
Yeah.
And also, am I always being who I know myself to be, or am I being someone else at different times that maybe I don't prefer some of the traits that I'm displaying?
Right.
And it kind of helps you to notice that so you can be like, that self-awareness piece.
Yeah.
You know, am I who I know I am inside all the time or not?
Yeah.
And how can I change that if it's something that I want to change?
Yeah. Am I just being who I think I should be, or am I being who I am?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And who I want to be.
And who I want to be.
Right.
Right. Because we, no matter how wonderful we are, there's always room for improvement. And not that we have to pressure ourselves to improve, but at the same time, if we notice what we do or don't like, it helps us to either increase that side of ourselves or maybe begin to pare back on it, realizing that it's like, wow, that's not really who I wanted to, who I want to be forever. And I want to begin to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. We can work on the parts of ourselves that we want to come forward more.
Yeah.
And leave the rest behind if it's not serving you anymore. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Since they primarily operate below the level of conscious awareness, much like automatic software programs, you'll have to go within and look at these elements you probably haven't been aware of before. Given that your personality comprises how you think, act, and feel, you must pay attention to your unconscious thoughts, reflective behaviors, and automatic emotional reactions. Put them under observation to determine if they are true and whether you want to continue to endorse them and with your energy. To become familiar with your unconscious state of mind and body takes an act of will, intention, and heightened awareness. If you become more aware, you will become more attentive. If you become more attentive, you will become more conscious. If you grow to be more conscious, you will notice more. If you notice more, you have a greater ability to observe self and others, both inner and outer elements of your reality. Ultimately, the more you observe, the more you awaken from the state of the consciousness mind. Start that one again. Ultimately, the more you observe, the more you awaken from the state of the unconscious mind into conscious awareness. The purpose to become self-aware is so that you no longer allow any thought, action, or emotion you don't want to experience to pass by your awareness. Thus, in time, your ability to consciously inhabit those states of being will stop the same firing and wiring of the old neural networks that are related to the old personality. So in other words, we're rewiring our brain.
Right. We're rewiring to inhibit the ways that we don't want to be and begin to grow the ways that we do want to be.
Right. Yeah.
Retrain.
Yeah. And as a result of no longer recreating the same mind on a daily basis, you prune away the hardware that is related to the old self. In addition, by interrupting the feelings that are associated with those thoughts, you are no longer signaling genes in the same way. You are stopping the body from reaffirming itself as the same mind. This process is whereby you quite simply begin to lose your mind. So, as you develop the skill of becoming familiar with all aspects of your old self, you will ultimately become more conscious. Your goal here is to unlearn who you used to be so that you can free up the energy to create a new life, a new personality. You can't create a new personal reality as the same personality. You have to become someone else. Metacognition is your first task in moving from your past to creating a new future. I love it.
I love it. So he's talking about, pruning away. So like I was talking about how your brain pares down. That's the process of pruning, which is, more the technical term for that. Yeah. So as your brain prunes away those old things that you're not using anymore, it's making space for that. So what's happening is you're by using and observing and using and doing and being those things less that you don't want and practicing and becoming more of what you do want. Yeah. You're teaching your brain to prune away those habits that you no longer want, and to create more of the connections that create the habits and the thoughts and the things that you do want. And so that's basically what we were talking about earlier, and I didn't realize that was in this chapter. So perfection, there it all came together.
Right. Yeah, there's always a reason, right? Okay, so creating a new mind to think about new ways of being. The second function of the frontal lobe is to create a new mind, to break out of the neural networks produced by the ways that your brain has been firing for years on end, and influence it to rewire in new ways. When we set aside time and private space to think about a new way of being, that is when the frontal lobe engages in creation. We can imagine fresh possibilities and ask ourselves important questions about what we really want, how and who we want to be, and what we want to change about ourselves and our circumstances. Because the frontal lobe has connections to all other parts of the brain, it is able to scan across all the neural circuits to seamlessly piece together stored bits of information in the form of networks of knowledge and experience. Then it picks and chooses among those neural circuits, combining them in a variety of ways to create a new mind. In doing that, it creates a model of internal representation that we see as a picture of our intended result. It makes sense then that the more knowledge we have, the greater the variety of neural networks we've wired, and the more capable we are of dreaming of more complex and detailed models. To initiate this step of creation, it's always good to move into a state of wonder, contemplation, possibility, reflection, or speculation by asking yourself some important questions. Open-ended inquiries are the most provocative approach to producing a fluent stream of consciousness. And here's some examples. What would it be like to? What is a better way to be? What if I was this person living in this reality? Who in history do I admire, and what were his or her admirable traits? So it really does pay to daydream about things, to sit and see pictures in your minds of what you want to do, who you want to be, all of those things, because that is starting to really change the patterns in your brain.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
The thoughts you think create your reality, and we know that, through law of attraction. So it's also about, think about, if your brain is energy, just like everything is energy, what you put into it is what you get back.
Yeah.
Right? So what you're putting in your energy into, your thoughts into, what you're creating with your thoughts is, again, you're putting out that energy and you're getting it back. You're putting that energy into your brain and you're getting it back.
Yeah.
You're creating that rewire through the way that you're doing that. And so just think about this, like the law of attraction applies to literally everything. Your body included.
Yeah.
And we know that our thoughts create a reality because our thoughts control our immune system. Well, if thoughts control our immune system, our thoughts control other parts of our body. We also know that thoughts can control water, and our bodies are mostly water. So if that's the case, so you see there's a whole lot of things. It all works together.
Yeah.
And your thoughts and your feelings and what you're putting out vibrationally with those thoughts creates your reality. And that's what he's talking about. We're rewiring our brains. Our brains respond to the thoughts that we think.
Right.
I mean, at the very simple level of that.
Yeah. And good or bad, it's responding.
Yes.
So why wouldn't we think good thoughts more and more? Yeah.
Why wouldn't we train our brain
to think good thoughts,
positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts?
Right.
And everything we teach you is along those lines.
Yeah.
And helps you to achieve that for yourself.
Absolutely.
The way that we have.
And it is a practice, like everything else.
It is a practice. But it can be a really fun practice.
Yes.
Like the things that he's thinking about. It's the what if questions.
How does it get better than that?
How does it get better than this? And what are the ways that it could get better?
Right.
Isn't that exciting to think about?
It really is. What would you like to be? What would you like to do? All of those questions.
How would you like
the more
to be
you
yourself?
ask, the more your brain's going to be working on. Oh, this would be fun, and this would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
One thought leads to another, doesn't it?
For sure. So the answers that come will naturally form a new mind, because as you sincerely respond to them, your brain will begin to work in new ways. By beginning to mentally rehearse new ways of being, you start rewiring yourself neurologically to a new mind. And the more you can remind yourself, the more you'll change and your brain, the more you'll change your brain and your life. So good.
Love it. That's the next page. All right. Okay. Whether you want to be wealthy or a better parent or a great wizard for that matter, it might not be a bad idea to fill your brain with knowledge on your chosen subject, so you have more building blocks to make a new model of the reality you want to embrace. Learning.
Yeah.
Learning. Every time you acquire information, you're adding new synaptic connections that will serve as the raw materials to break the pattern of your brain firing the same way. The more you learn, the more ammo you have to unseat the old personality. And now he likes to do like little pictures of things to show you where things are and how things go. I won't show that to you right now. But it kind of shows you the frontal lobe in its process.
Yeah.
But we're talking about next, the frontal lobe as creator. Making thought more real than anything else. During the creative process, the frontal lobe's third vital role is to make thought more real than anything else. Stay tuned for the how-to in part 3. So get the book so you can read part 3.
Yes.
When we're in a creative state, the frontal lobe becomes highly activated and lowers the volume on the circuits in the rest of the brain so that little else is being processed but a single-minded thought. Since the frontal lobe is the executive that mediates the rest of the brain, it can monitor all of the geography. So it lowers the volume on the sensory centers responsible for feeling the body, motor centers responsible for moving the body, association centers where identity exists, and the circuits that process time in order to quiet them all down. With very little neural activity, you could say that there is no mind to process sensory input. Remember that mind is the brain in action. No mind to activate movement within the environment, and no mind to associate activities with time. Then we have no body because we have become no thing. We are no time. We are in that moment pure consciousness. With the noise shut off in those areas of the brain, the state of creativity is one in which there is no ego or self as we have known it. When you're in creation mode, the frontal lobe is in control. It becomes so engaged that your thoughts become your reality and your experience. Whatever you're thinking about in those moments is all there is for the frontal lobe to process. As it lowers the volume from other areas of the brain, it shuts out distractions. The inner world of thought becomes as real as the outer world of reality. Your thoughts are captured neurologically and branded into your brain's architecture as an experience. If you effectively execute the creative process, this experience produces an emotion, as you know, and you begin to feel like that event is actually happening to you in the present. You are one with the thoughts and feelings associated with your desired reality. You are now in a new state of being. You could say that in that moment, you are now rewriting the subconscious programs by reconditioning the body to a new mind.
So good.
And this makes me think about when we do leveraging. That's exactly what we're doing, is we are rewiring our mind and body to that new reality.
Yeah. And we're staying there for a few extra seconds so that our brain can actually feel what it feels like to be in that new place, new mind.
We're experiencing ourselves as that new state of being.
Right. And that's why his meditations are a little bit long.
Yeah.
Because he wants you to experience that feeling as long as you can to start rewiring that.
He wants you to get out of your regular mode of operating to get into the new mode of operating. And for a lot of people that does take more time if you haven't practiced it.
Yeah.
And what's good about that long meditation is it allows you to really be in that space, like you said, for an extended period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which does a lot of work.
It does. And it does take a while. I know the first time I tried one of his meditations, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit that long because I'm not a sitter
Right.
That's hard for me. But the more I did it, the better I got at it. So it is a real practice. And it did feel good, even if I couldn't stay till the end. Even if I couldn't do the whole thing at one sitting. I could feel the difference. No matter how long I stayed. So it was good. I still like listening to him.
Yes. He has a soothing voice.
He does. Yeah. I like his voice.
Yes.
It's all about the voice in a meditation. I feel like some people, some of them, I love the meditation, the words, but I don't like the voice. I can't do it.
Yeah, like Sylvia Brown. I love her meditations and like they're written and stuff, how they're written, but her voice was not a meditation voice. It just wasn't. I could listen to her talk all day.
Yeah.
But as a meditation lead, it's like, no, I love you, Sylvia, but you did not have a meditation voice.
But then you can record it in your own voice and listen back to it.
True. And that would be one.
And I have done that on some meditations just because I couldn't do the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's someone for everyone. So anybody that does a recorded meditation, there's somebody out there that will love your voice and will resonate with it. So don't be scared to do them on your own and to record your own voice on them.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. Okay, so this is one of my favorite subject lines. Lose your mind, liberate your energy. I like that. Liberate is just such a good word, isn't
Yep,
it?
I love that word.
In the act of creation, when we become that nobody or no thing in no time, we no longer create our customary chemical signature because we are not the same identity. We don't think and feel in the same way. Those neural networks our survival thinking had wired are turned off. And the personality that was addicted to continually signaling the body to produce stress hormones is gone.
Mm.
And, he talks a lot in his books about the stress signal and how our bodies get addicted to the adrenaline of that. And it's really interesting, and that's a big part of how he teaches us to create a new state of being is breaking that cycle.
Yeah. And when you think about it, a lot of people are stressed more than they're not.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. And it's probably, I don't know, always been like that, but when you give your body a chance to get out of that stress mode, even for a little bit, you'll have huge changes in your life when you can get out of that constantly under stress mode.
Right.
And it's something that a lot of us aren't aware of because we've been stressed for so long. We don't know what it feels like to not be stressed anymore.
It's our normal mode of operation,
right.
and that's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. It's a sad thing that's how we've become.
And it's not until you learn a new way of being that you begin to realize just how much stress you put yourself under,
right,
and how much it affects you.
And a lot of it is unnecessary. 99% of it probably,
Really
we don't need it. So to learn a different way of being is huge for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In short, the emotional self that lived in survival mode is no longer functioning. The moment that happens, our former identity, the state of being bound by survival-based thinking and feeling, is no more. Since we are no longer being the same being, emotional energy that had been bound to the body is now free to move. So where does the energy go that once fed the emotional self? It has to go somewhere, so it moves to a new place. That energy in the form of emotion moves up the body from the lower hormonal centers, such as the sexual, digestive, and adrenal, to the heart area on its way to the brain. And all of a sudden, we feel great, joyful, expanded. We fall in love with our creation. That's when we experience our natural state of being. Once we stop energizing that emotional self powered by the stress response, we have moved from being selfish to selfless. With that old energy transmuted into a higher frequency emotion, the body is liberated from its emotional bondage. We are lifted above the horizon to behold a whole new landscape, no longer perceiving reality through the lenses of those past survival emotions. We see new possibilities. We are now quantum observers of a new destiny, and that release heals the body and frees the mind. It's a lot. That sense of relief.
Yeah.
That you get when you finally begin to break free of that cycle.
Yeah. And that's what meditation will do for you.
It will.
Yeah. And when you start to feel that feeling, your mind wants it more and more. And then you will become used to it, and your body will crave that every day. Yeah, to have that little bit of time.
And it is a change.
Yeah.
So once your body starts saying, oh my gosh, I'm not getting the stress response, I'm not feeling stress, right, it might actually panic a little bit and want some stress.
Right.
And so it's practicing your way through that of not allowing to get back up again into that.
Yeah. You
Up
don't.
and down.
Yeah. you don't have to live in chaos all the time and constant stress.
No.
And meditation is a huge way to start to get out of that, start to teach your body and your mind that it can live a different way. It doesn't have to be there all the time.
Right. And our society sees stress as almost like a badge of honor.
Right.
Like stress is a positive thing. It really isn't.
No.
It's a negative. It doesn't feel good to be stressed all the time.
No.
And there are different ways of living and being and creating the life that you want that don't involve all the stress and hardship that you're used to.
Yeah. Right.
It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, you can choose it if you wish to, if that's important to you to struggle. But if you want something different, you can begin to create that new reality.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
It is entirely possible for you.
Yeah. Just read.
Maybe learn something.
Just learn something new. Yeah.
Talked about learning.
Yeah.
We're almost to the end of this section.
Okay. Yeah.
It says, let's revisit the chart of energy and frequencies from the survival emotions to the elevated emotions. So there's a figure about it. When anger or shame or lust are released from the body, they will be transmuted into love, joy, or gratitude. On this journey to broadcasting higher energy, the body, which we conditioned to be the mind, becomes less of the mind and becomes more coherent energy. The matter that makes up the body expresses a higher vibratory state, and we feel more connected to something greater. We are more wave and less particle. In short, we are demonstrating more of our divine nature. And when he says coherent energy, that's energy and harmony with itself.
Yeah.
Our energy in harmony, our energy in connection, our energy and our whole being in harmony with itself.
That just feels good even to talk about it, doesn't it?
Yes.
You can just feel it. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
When you're living in survival, you're trying to control or force an outcome. And that's true.
Yeah.
That's what the ego does. When you're living in the elevated emotion of creation, you feel so lifted that you would never try to analyze how or when a chosen destiny will arrive. You trust that it will happen because you have already experienced it in the mind and body, in thought and feeling. You know that it will because you feel connected to something greater. You are in a state of gratitude because you feel like it's already happened. You may not know all the specifics of your desired outcome, when it will take place, where, and under what circumstances, but you trust in a future that you can't see or otherwise perceive with your senses. To you, it has already occurred in no space, no time, no place, from which all things material spring forth. You are in a state of knowingness. You can relax into the present and no longer live in survival. To anticipate or analyze when, where, or how the event will occur will only cause you to return to your old identity. It creates resistance, right? You are in such joy that it's impossible to try to figure it out. That's only what human beings do when they are living in limited states of survival. As you linger in this creative state where you are no longer your identity, the nerve cells that once fired together to form that old self are no longer wiring together. That's when the old personality is being biologically dismantled. Those feelings connected to that identity, which conditioned the body to the same mind, are no longer signaling the same genes in the same ways. And the more you overcome your ego, the more the physical evidence of your old personality is changed. The old you is gone.
So good.
And you know what I think about when I read this section is I think about one of my favorite things to do, and that's the magical to-do list.
Yeah.
Because what I do when I put things on that magical to-do list is I think about those things, what it's like to have them, and I'm so excited and grateful for knowing that they're coming.
Right.
And I'm just handing it to the universe and say, these are the things that I want. The where, how, why, and how it's going to come to be, I don't worry about. I'm giving it to the universe on that to-do list.
Yeah.
And what was fun was yesterday, I was going through it because I had a little time in the morning before I had a training that was starting and people were still arriving. So I was like, I'll just go through my book because I had it in my backpack. And I was going through and I was reading through my magical to-do list that I had written the previous things and adding more. So I added some to it, but then I reread it and then I started checking off some of the things that had occurred, and it felt really, really good to do that, because you never know how or why or when. And it was kind of fun to do that and remember how it happened and check it off.
That's awesome.
And think about how exciting it'll be when more of the things, are coming in. So it just kind of made me think about that, because when I write them on my to-do list, I'm not worried about how they're going to happen. I'm thinking about the joy of having those experiences and those things happening in my life, or those things coming to me in my life, or what have you, is on that list. And that's really what he's talking about, is you're in that mode of creation. You're not in that mode of figuring things out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not your job.
No, it's not.
Your job is to decide what you want.
Yeah.
And know that it's on its way to you in that decision.
Yeah. And keep going for it.
Keep moving toward it, but trying to force it is what creates that resistance.
Right. Yeah. That is one of the most important things I learned back when I started doing self-development and learning how the mind works, all of that, law of attraction, everything, was force doesn't get you anywhere.
It doesn't.
It doesn't pay to force anything, because you're just resisting it so much stronger that it's not going to happen when you force.
It doesn't work that way. No. People say push, push, push. Well, has that really gotten you anywhere?
Yeah.
No, not anywhere permanent. I can tell you that right now.
No, you might get there for a minute, but
you might take a step forward, but that step forward is going to hurt.
Yeah, you're going to go 4 steps back.
I'd rather it be fun.
Right.
I don't want to run into a wall.
No.
Walls aren't fun to run into. You ever run into a wall? It's not fun.
Not at all.
It's not fun. You know how many kids I give ice packs because they run their face straight into a wall because they weren't looking forward? Don't be that person as an adult.
No.
You should know better.
I have done that before. Into a glass, a sliding glass door. Bam.
Yeah. Just an example, a metaphor, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe not a literal instruction. Although looking forward is
important.
A good idea. Yeah. Generally speaking, in both of those ways. Yeah.
And that was something that when I started learning, diving into self-development and like law of attraction and stuff like that, it was actually when I started learning coaching. One of the things that one of the mentors that I had been following talked about was always looking up and forward. Like when you're going for a walk or when you're just going about your day, don't always look down at your feet or where you're going, but look ahead and look forward. And if you get really stressed out, look straight ahead and out into the open or out ahead of you, and it immediately calms your demeanor, your mind, your body. And that was something that always stuck out to me. And I don't know if I wasn't doing that and I made the point to do it, but yeah, it's something that really helps your mind just take a moment, if you look out and as far as you can see, try to see as far as you can see. It really is a cool feeling.
Well, if you think about it, when you start to daydream, you tend to look off into the distance, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Something to experiment with this week. Look ahead.
Absolutely.
Physically and mentally. Look ahead.
Absolutely. There's one last section and then we'll be done with the section.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of possibilities. The concept that your subjective mind can affect your objective world, your potential to change your brain and body by becoming greater than your environment, your body and time, and the prospect that you can move out of the reactive, stressful mode of living in survival, as though only the outer world is real, and enter the inner world of the Creator. It is my hope that you can now view these possibilities as possible realities.
Mm.
If you can, then I invite you to continue on to part 2, where you will gain specific information about the role of your brain and the meditative process that will prepare you to create real and lasting change in your life. I really like that he says you can now view these possibilities as possible realities, because that's really what it is you're creating your next possible reality.
Right.
Yeah. Because what's right now doesn't have to be what's tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You get to choose if you want something different.
Right.
But then you need to take action on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
By starting to change your thoughts, change your state of being, or begin to move toward how you want it to be rather than being stuck in how it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or how it was in the past. Do forward motion always.
Right. You know, one thing that is one of my favorite things that Abraham says, Abraham Hicks, is when they say right now is just the bouncing off place.
Yeah.
For so much more.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite statements that they've ever made.
Yeah.
And it's one that rings in my mind all the time, is right now is just the bouncing off place for so much more.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. And it becomes more and more true the more that you allow that to sink in to your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So let this be just a jumping off place for you to start your mind journey.
Yeah.
And start digging into all the things you can find about the mind, because it's an awesome wormhole to go down.
Yeah, once you start learning how your mind works and how your body works, you can begin to see how you can begin to change it towards what it is that you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a really cool thing to learn about. It's a really cool to look into the different processes that make it so. And it's just fun. We have fun with it. We like it. Obviously, you guys can see it in our faces. Like, we get excited about different about different topics. And
it's just so fun to learn about all of it. I love it.
Yes. So we're excited that you guys are along with us on this journey of learning about our minds and self-mastery. And it's going to be a wonderful journey as we continue on in this little subject for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. All right, Carissa, where can we find you on the World Wide Web?
Well, if you really feel like finding me, it's not too hard. I'm on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. So facebook.com/Light of Hope Healing. If you don't have Facebook, that's how you can find me. We are collectively on Facebook at Our SoulSpace.
Yeah.
We also are on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast. Yeah. Nothing before, nothing after. You'll see our faces.
Yay.
It's probably where you're listening to this, if you're listening to us right now.
Yeah.
I also have a Square site, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between. .square.site, which is also on my Facebook page, if you can find the links on my Facebook page, because I don't know what Facebook is doing. However, that's a good way. That's a good way to connect with me, but Facebook is probably the easiest, just because you can find me there on that thing, and you can message me.
Changing.
Yeah. Or, text me if you have my contact info. Some of you do, some of you don't. Text me, call me. It's always good to hear from you. Shoot us a comment on our video, so that we can talk more with you and talk about the things that you guys are interested in. Tracy, if people are looking to dig deeper into what you're up to these days, where can they find you?
I'm at inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there, all my favorite things, all my pages. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired Signals and Inspired Signals Studio for my artsy stuff. That's about it right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We're so excited that you guys are on this learning journey about our minds with us. We're so excited to hear your thoughts and things that you want to learn about. Maybe there's something we can bring forward that you've been wondering about. We'd love to hear from you.
Love suggestions in the comments.
We sure do. And, even if you just say, hey, I love this podcast, that's helpful too. We like that too. Right. All feedback is welcome as long as it's in a loving manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're excited to continue this with you guys. We're excited to see you next week with more fun things to learn about. If you're interested in Mind Trainer Pro that we've been talking about, we did have a link in our last podcast, and we can add that again in this one if we remember. And if we forget, you can remind us. You say, hey, you guys said you're going to put a link in there. We're like, oh, yes. Yes, we were. Thank you for that reminder.
Thanks for reminding. Yeah. Sometimes we forget.
We do.
Look up Joe Dispenza too. He's amazing.
Yes.
Lots of YouTube videos. He has a lot of free stuff to learn from.
Yes.
And he does workshops regularly, hour-long, sometimes week-long meditations.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're into this, he has lots of books. Look him up on Hay House. There's lots there.
Yeah. Get his newest one.
All good.
Get his newest one.
Yeah, that one's good. I almost bought that one, but I thought this one might be good to start with.
That's a fantastic one. It tells you so much about the brain and the body, and it's a really good starter for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for this week. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.